This video is sponsored by Motion VFX and their brand new M-Bundle film toolset for Final Cut Pro 10 users. Stay tuned to find out more. I'm Andrew Edwards, and you're watching Gear Live. Apple finally launched their 16-inch MacBook Pro, a long-awaited update to its top-of-the-line laptop, and for the first time in a long time. As it pertains to notebooks, Apple seems to have listened to almost every complaint and addressed them all to make a better computer. In this video, I give you a look at the top 5 features and changes of the new MacBook Pro. What is going on, Tech Squad? Andrew Edwards here, editor-in-chief of GearLive.com, and as I mentioned in this video, we are talking about Apple's brand new 16-inch MacBook Pro. This replaces the 15-inch in the lineup, and there is a lot to love about this computer. So yes, the display is 16 inches now, a little bigger than it used to be, but there's so much more to the new MacBook Pro because it takes Pro users into consideration in a multitude of ways. I'm gonna tell you about my 5 favorite features and changes of the new MacBook Pro. Before we get started, big shout out to Motion VFX for sponsoring this video. And the first feature that we have to talk about is the keyboard. Oh, the keyboard. Thank you, Apple, for finally addressing this. The butterfly keys are out, and in its place is a keyboard that is similar to the Magic Keyboard that you'd get if you buy an iMac. On the top left of the keyboard, there is now a physical escape key, and the entire thing has rubber domes, and it's got a lot more travel than the older models as well. The butterfly keys had 0.5 millimeters of travel, and the new Magic Keyboard has 1 millimeter, so it's double the keyboard travel on the new MacBook Pro. This makes for a significantly better typing experience, and anyone who disliked MacBook Pros and strayed away from the MacBook Pros over the past 3 or 4 years because of those keyboard issues, buckle up because Apple is back. Now next up, let's talk about the battery. The previous 15-inch MacBook Pro had about an 83 or 84 watt-hour battery, while the new model has a 100 watt-hour battery, giving you a 15 to 16% battery capacity increase in a body that is almost the same size. Now, if you look around at different laptops, you're gonna be hard-pressed to find another laptop with a 100 watt-hour battery. Apple was able to fit it all into the chassis of the new MacBook Pro, and the main reason they likely didn't go above 100 watt-hours is because 100 is the maximum battery capacity you can take on an airplane. So if Apple went to 101 watt-hours, it would be illegal to bring a MacBook Pro on a plane. Obviously, that makes no sense for a laptop. So instead, Apple filled it to the absolute max capacity allowed. Now with that bigger battery, Apple is also giving you a more powerful charger as well, bumping it up to 96 watts, up from the 87 watt charger from the previous generation. Next up, let's talk about the biggest surprise of all, at least for me as it pertains to the MacBook Pro. And I don't think anybody was expecting this or even asking for this, but the speakers on the new MacBook Pro are magnificent. No, seriously, the speakers. These speakers are the best speakers I have ever heard on a laptop by far. Apple says that they sound so good because it has 3 speakers on each side, 2 of which are woofers designed to cancel out each other's vibrations. This allows the MacBook Pro to get a half octave deeper bass, and also means that the speakers can get much louder without getting tinny and without reverberating. MacBook Pro gets very loud without distortion, offers great stereo separation, and is just overall impressive when it comes to sound. Now I have several HomePods here in my house. A couple of them are in stereo pairs, and the best way I can describe the sound coming out of the 16-inch MacBook Pro is it's almost like a smaller HomePod, a HomePod Mini. It sounds so good, it sounds so clear, it gets loud, it's crisp. And when you compare it to any other laptop speakers, which I accidentally did, other laptops just sound ridiculous compared to it. Now on the topic of sound, the speakers were not the only area that got improvement. Apple also improved the microphones on the MacBook Pro. It is now a 3 microphone array with less hiss and echo, which Apple says is studio quality. It's not gonna sound as good as a dedicated professional mic that costs a couple $100s, but for being built into the MacBook Pro, it's very good. And while we're on the topic of media, by the way, let me just throw one thing out there. I know these are my top 5 favorite features and changes, but talking about the speakers, we're talking about the mic. Sound has been greatly improved. Video, on the other hand, no change. It still has that same terrible 720p front camera. I know the lid of the MacBook Pro is very thin, but we need a better camera on the MacBook Pro. We just do. Now, before we get to the next on the list of my favorite changes and features on the MacBook Pro, let me give a big thank you and shout out to this video sponsor. And it's the perfect company to sponsor a MacBook Pro video, Motion VFX. If you do video editing on a Mac, then you've likely heard of Motion VFX. They make great looking, easy to use plugins and templates for Final Cut Pro 10, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. Recently, they bundled several of their products into a collection called M-Bundle Film, giving you a set of tools that are dedicated to making your videos more cinematic. You get M-Film Look, which includes 60 cinematic presets and 30 LUT color grades, M-Flare 2, which gives you 100 lens flare presets, the M-LUT loading tool, M-LUT Film, and M-LUT Film 2, which gives you a total of 55 professional LUTs. You get M-Transition Shade for 71 Final Cut transitions, and you get M-Title Cinematic, which gives you a set of 50 cinematic Final Cut titles. Now, separately, these tools would cost you $594 from Motion VFX, but bundled together, you get it all for $299. It's almost half price. You're saving $295. A lot of the titles and effects you see in my videos are actually made by Motion VFX, their Motion VFX plugins, and I highly recommend them if you're looking to add some extra personality and pop to your videos. If you're interested, I will leave a link down in the description below. And once again, thank you to Motion VFX for sponsoring this video. All right, let's move on to the next major change on the MacBook Pro 16-inch. It's in the name. It is that bigger display. Now, you can definitely tell it's bigger, but it's not a ridiculous difference. And the reason is that the older 15-inch models were actually 15.4 inches. So instead of getting a full inch larger, the screen is actually 0.6 inches larger with the new MacBook Pro. You get the same 500 nits of brightness, full support for the P3 color space, but now you also get to choose your refresh rate if you want to match it to the frame rate of a video project that you're working on. All right, next on the list, let's talk about the thermal performance. This was a huge controversy with the previous generation MacBook Pro, especially early in 2019. The way it handled the thermals saw the processor being throttled, and then we saw it being undervolted, and now all of that has gone away. Inside the computer are bigger fans with more fan blades for much improved airflow, alongside an upgraded heatsink and heat pipe. Altogether, you're no longer getting an undervolted CPU and no longer having to deal with extreme throttling. The MacBook Pro is now better able to deliver on the power that's packed inside of it. Now, those are my 5 favorite things. There are a few other things you should know about the new MacBook Pro 16-inch as well. Things like the GPU is now a Radeon Pro 5000M from AMD, 7 nanometers, so it's more power efficient. You also get faster memory in the MacBook Pro and more memory options. You can now actually bump up and spec your MacBook Pro to 64 gigabytes of RAM. And on the video card specifically, you can go up to 8 gigabytes of video RAM there as well. Base storage has been increased from 256 gigabytes up to 512 gigabytes. And the top end has been increased to an insane 8 terabytes of super fast PCIe SSD storage. So you can get a MacBook Pro with an Intel Core i9, 8-core, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 8 gigabytes of video RAM, 8 terabytes of PCIe storage. And that is just awesome. The entire MacBook Pro is just better in just about every way, with the exception of not bringing back the SD card slot. That is the one thing. Well, that and the front-facing camera. Improve the front-facing camera and give us the SD card slot back. I don't expect that to ever come back, but maybe in the future we will get that better camera. But all in all, this is a great update, and the best part of all might be the fact that the price hasn't changed at all. The base pricing is the same as the previous generation base 15-inch MacBook Pro, and that's just fantastic. If you want to pick one of these up, I will leave a link down in the description below. There are some great deals out there right now, even on the brand new MacBook Pro, being that it's currently the holiday season. So there you have it, guys. That was your look at the new 16-inch MacBook Pro. Let me know what you think. Are you gonna pick this one up? Have you picked it up already? Are you more of a PC person or MacBook Air person? I'm curious, drop a comment down below. I'll meet you there for further discussion. If you want to know more about the 16-inch MacBook Pro, not just my 5 favorite features, but something more in-depth, be sure to check out the Geared Up podcast. It's the weekly podcast that I do with John Rettinger from the former Techno Buffalo channel. 2 tech veterans talking tech, gadgets, and games each and every week. I'll leave a link to the podcast down below, and I'll also leave a card here if you want to see the video version of it. But if you're into tech, it is a fun thing to listen to while you're commuting in the car, bus, train, etc. Thanks so much for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I will catch you in the next video.